you are going to be making a new album with May.
Yes.
That's exciting, man.
We had moments where we had management and things like that. So we had...
That was the first one of those.
Just dumping water. I just dumped water all over Brady.
I had the pretty ambitious idea, crazy idea to write a full album of all Christmas originals.
I love Christmas.
That's so cool.
I've been with May since, I believe it was 2017.
Let's go! It brings us all together for a night we all remember the kind of times we want to last forever. An unforgettable experience, moments spent with all our friends, gathering around the dinner table.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lobster and Beer TV, coming to you live from Demon Records in Scottsdale, Arizona.
This week, we got a great one for you guys. Musician Kipp Wilde. Don't forget to check out that new merch line, lobsterandbeer.com. Link in the description.
Where the whales at? Come on, guys. We got to put food on the table for our families. Go in there. We got some dope stuff on the website. And as always, a portion of the proceeds goes to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
And also to get Brian some protein bars because he's looking awfully small in this shirt, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, bro, you need some breath mints.
I mean, hey, you can hate on me because you're small. You can hate on me because you're small. That's fine.
That's all. Yo, as always, shout out Get Maine Lobster for giving us the fresh Maine lobster rolls. It's about that time, Big Al. Let's eat, baby.
Bring them in.
Bring them out. Bring them out.
Yes.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We rolling?
Oh, we're rolling, baby. We're rolling.
Brady's like, yeah.
Yeah, oh no, he's about to be on one.
This looks incredible.
Do we have other plates?
No, but I can use no plate. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know where you put them.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Whatever works.
Damn, what we got today then?
Best thing.
He's like fire.
Yeah, pick, Kipp, you chose avocado for the special ingredient, huh?
Avocado.
You're a big avocado guy?
I love it in everything. It's the
Breakfast,
best.
lunch, and dinner.
Oh,
Healthy fat.
I can imagine
So
this is
good.
going to be amazing. Let's dive in.
What else
dude.
we got on this?
Regular roll with avocado and the Mark special seasoning, baby.
Oh, yeah. Let's dig in.
Oh, yeah. I love our job.
Oh, yeah, the avocado too.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it nice and fresh.
It's
I love that.
refreshing.
Whoa.
That's so good. Kipp, when's the last time you had a lobster roll? Like a real lobster roll?
It honestly was probably last time I was with you when we were in Maine.
When we were in Maine?
Yeah.
When was that? Was that like
Tried to-
2019
Probably.
or 2018?
Probably, I don't know, 2018?
Yeah.
Maybe?
What was it for? A show?
Yeah, I think it was at the Maine Boys to Men show we played that.
That was probably it, yeah.
Yeah, it was the 20th anniversary. So it's 2018 because I just did the
25th.
25th anniversary a couple weeks ago.
Funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was
That's
2018.
nuts.
Yeah, how was that, by the way?
It was awesome, man. Such a good show.
Really?
Crowd was amazing and such a cool event. Like all the kids got up and like kind of told their stories of
Oh, yeah.
why Maine Boys to Men meant something to them, and
that's
so cool,
awesome.
man. Such a powerful organization. Shout out
Yeah,
Maine Boys to Men.
That's awesome.
Kipp Douglas, also known as Kipp Wilde. I don't know why I
Many
started
names.
calling you Skip Dougie a while back, but it's my nickname for Kippa.
I hadn't heard that one. I
No,
know it was Kipp Wilde.
yeah, Kipp Wilde. I just call
I have more than a few nicknames.
yeah, Skipperino,
Yeah.
Skippa, Skip
So,
Jones.
There's a lot.
Do
any of them come with a
good story? Or they're all just come over
no, I mean
don't
when
think
you just
so.
spend 3 years in a van,
Especially with you.
together,
Right.
Especially
Yeah.
with you.
it just gets boring calling someone the same name when you're with them
Mhm.
all the time. We would travel from like van to venue, venue to van, van to Airbnb,
Mhm.
and rinse and repeat for 3 years straight.
So you guys were on the road together for 3 years straight?
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah. It was pretty wild. I mean,
Yeah,
Kipp was
a lot
doing
of late nights.
yeah, a lot of late nights, dude.
Right.
Those
In
were
early
the,
mornings.
Yeah, those are the roughest, man. When we had drives after the gig.
Yeah.
So we'd like load out at like midnight, 1 a.m. and then have to drive. Sometimes have to drive 4 hours. Who was booking those?
It's quite taxing.
Who was driving
This
normally? You were
guy.
I luckily got out of driving.
We all took turns driving. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably didn't drive too much, but yeah.
I had a
We all
bad
took
knee.
turns.
Legitimately, it wasn't an excuse.
That's right. You did. You couldn't.
I
drive.
did. No, my knee.
remember
I messed it up in basketball. Oh no, I think it was from basketball, but also because I used to always jump off the speakers. I'd climb to the top of the speakers
You jumping off
Yes.
something on the stage.
and jump
was a
and then
thing.
land, and it just the compression on my knee.
So
over
that,
time.
but okay, so you could. So what? Do you have to like? Were you like, oh, I need a whole row now, and I need to keep it up because my knee's a little.
Yeah, I
I'm
might-
stealing oceans. My
I
knee
might
hurts
have.
a little.
I definitely milked it. Let's be honest. I definitely.
Dude, I'm pretty sure Garrix did something like that at Omnia. He like jumped off the decks and like just snapped his ankle in half.
Really, Martin
Yeah.
Garrix.
Yeah, at Omnia in Vegas.
That's rough.
Oh, I
wanna
think
say
I
it
remember
was
hearing
him.
about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I knew
it
a
was a while
guy. I knew
ago.
a kid in college who was blacked out who jumped off a loading dock, like,
Oh,
and then
gosh.
didn't, and then like walked back to his dorm room, which was like a mile away, and then the next morning he woke up and he couldn't move his leg,
Oh
and he had
no.
torn his ACL, MCL,
Jeez.
and then his meniscus, and
Oh,
he didn't
no.
realize because he was so drunk though originally.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's
that
rough.
Stay on the ground,
No-
people.
no
Stay on the
bueno.
ground.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Dude, so Kipp, man, it's awesome to have you here, bro. Obviously, we
you.
have a crazy amount of history.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of worked out nicely. You're on tour. You're touring with May now.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been with May?
I've been with May since I believe it was 2017 when I
Yeah,
started playing shows. So a good chunk of time. Quite a
yeah.
few years.
I remember the first time I heard May was like 2004, like
Hmm.
on-demand cable had like a music video section. When I was younger, I
Nice.
used to always just watch the music videos on there, and Embers and
Envelopes.
Envelopes
Yeah.
was on there.
That's right. I remember that video.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, I remember friends introducing me, or a friend of mine who I used to play music with actually, he showed me the album The Everglow for the first time,
Mm.
which came out like the year I graduated high school. So it's just bizarre to think that I play with them now, and
That's wild, man.
How did you guys end up
random.
getting connected, and how did you end up hooking up with him?
So the story, the short version is, I played with a band. I was a singer, songwriter of a band called Windsor Drive,
So good.
where I grew up in Wisconsin, and we went on tour with them. We opened for May on like a full U.S. tour back in 2010. So it was quite a while ago, and so that's how we met the band. Got to know him a little bit, and things kind of calmed down, stopped touring, and years later I moved down to Nashville, and Dave Elkins, the singer of May, he also moved down there, and so we reconnected, and I was doing some studio stuff with him, a little bit of writing, and and he called me one day and just said, "Hey, Rob's not playing keys for May anymore." He's like, "Would you be interested in jumping in?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I love
Damn,
it."
so then 6 years later, you guys are still rocking
Yeah,
it.
still doing it.
That's awesome.
When
And
you were
then-
on the road with them, those were some big shows, right? When you were opening for them, like
Oh,
back
oh,
when,
yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
Windsor Drive was with them.
Yeah, back in 2010, we did a full. It was probably close to 2 months, like coast to coast, like a
Yeah.
proper like full U.S. tour. It was super cool. But yeah, playing great. Some of my favorite rooms, and the Norva in their hometown, and in Norfolk, Virginia Beach area. That place is great, and just getting to play some of my favorite cities like Chicago and New York and anywhere in California is always a blast.
Right.
And,
It's always
and
nice.
Phoenix, honestly, I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but we always did well in the Phoenix area.
Dude, the show on Saturday night was amazing. I think it was sold out. It was probably like 300 people
I think it
in there.
was.
And
it was good turnout.
but the audience was so into it. It was so cool. And I only knew the one song, and I listened to a couple on my way there. But I had never really listened to May, for no reason, just
yeah.
my curiosity never hit it. And dude, being at that show, man, one, you guys are so tight as a band,
Oh, thanks. man.
and the different sections of songs and the dynamics are just they're so captivating. But the coolest part was the energy in the room, and how much like the crowd was singing along to every song. And it was dope because you guys were playing. It was the 20th anniversary of
20th anniversary
yeah.
of the band, pretty much. But also the first record,
Yeah.
Destination Beautiful. So
Yeah. So you
it's
guys,
fun.
what was like Brady's? I
he
don't know.
is-
Brady's hasn't been on the pod for a while. He's like he's craving attention right now. He just wants the lobster roll.
Oh.
Yeah. You guys played like 2-3 songs to open up, and then you played the album front to back.
Front to back.
Mhm.
And then we'll come back, depending on how we feel. We'll do 2 to 4 extra songs, after the record. So
Yeah, because you had told me before the show you guys do 2 for the encore.
we do. Oh yeah, after.
Oh,
the
no, so you
album.
do 2 to 4 after, and then you go encore.
After the album. Yeah.
But then Phoenix was special, right? Because you guys played 4 in the encore.
Yeah.
Because you guys were feeling it last
Yes.
show for like you guys are out for 3 weeks now.
Dave's like, why not just go for it? Yeah, we've
I was
done
like-
like 3 separate runs now because they've been mainly like weekend deals, like fly in. But this is the most I've done over the years I've been with May. This is like the longest run and most like consecutive dates I've ever done with them.
How many
Yeah.
have
Like
you? How many has it been?
Well, I'm trying to think because it's like we did 4 first run, had like a week off, and then another 4. So they've been like 4 hits,
Yeah.
and then we did a bunch. We just finished California, and we did 5 California dates and then Phoenix. So, gosh, we're well into it now because I'm trying to think. I think it's around 25 dates total in the tour, and this is our longest break. So we come back on I think the 17th of November, and we head back up to the Northeast again and
Got it.
doing all those dates and in the dead of winter. So that'll be fun.
Winter's coming.
Something's got to warm the people up.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
It's true. So you mentioned Windsor Drive. Was that your first
Yes.
band ever?
Yeah, well, I was in some pretty awful bands before,
Yeah.
and like variations of, I guess, what Windsor Drive would become. Because
Yeah.
we started in high school not knowing what we were doing, as it is with most bands. And so
Wait, how old were you when Windsor started?
it's probably 16, 17. Yeah.
So it was a couple years ago.
Yeah. Just a few
Yeah.
years ago. I'm 23.
Yeah. No, dude. So I met Kipp in Nashville, and we were both before we were full time on the road and stuff. We both worked part time at a restaurant in between tours, and one of the managers was like, Kipp's an artist, and he told me his band name. I checked them out, and I was like, whoa, I love this music, and I became a fan. So then, me being calculated, I was like, how do I get this dude to start playing with me?
Laid on the charm.
Yep. And it
So
worked.
thick.
And it worked, man. It was amazing. Nah, but dude, Windsor is such a cool band. You guys have amazing music. I really do love it. And I'm just curious, you were 17 when the band started. When did it start to really take off? Because you guys were on the road and were you on a label?
No,
No?
we never did. We were always a truly independent band, I guess. So it was very grassroots, and we did everything ourselves. Even the first few years, booked our own tours and everything. Fortunately, I had 2 businessmen in the band, and so they would take care of all that stuff,
That's great.
trying to find, because we had moments where we had management and things like that. So we had
That was the first one of those.
Just dumping water. I just dumped water all over
things.
Brady.
Yeah.
Oops.
could have
As
been
long as
worse.
no chords
Could
were-
Yeah.
have been worse.
Sorry, buddy.
But no, we had so having my buddy Owen, he's my best friend. He was a drummer, and he did so much of the heavy lifting, and also our bass player, John. They did a lot of the business stuff. So they were the ones that got us tours and things like that. So I was fortunate, me being the creative one that just had to write songs.
Hands off.
And
I think it's important, especially for songwriters, that they
absolutely.
need, a lot of them, like Brian, he needs to stay in his creative zone.
Yeah, I feel like it just pulls you out if you're not.
for sure.
What actually? So that was, you were 17 when you got into that band. When did you actually start getting into music? What was kind of the first things that you did when you got into music or first started playing?
Oh, way back,
Where it all start?
Man, I'm one of those kids that just came out of the womb playing music.
Really?
For me, it was drums first.
Uh-huh.
So I was just banging on everything, before I was even big enough to sit at a drum kit, But man, I grew up in church, so I'm a pastor's kid. So there's always instruments to play, and so I kind of grew up doing that. Apart from that, there was different influences. I was really into like big band jazz, and like that's originally what I wanted to be, was a big band drummer. And my parents had albums of like Harry Connick Jr. He was one of my favorites, still is, and that the whole thing, and like Sinatra and all that, and being raised in that kind of family, kind of more conservative. I didn't have like the cool parents who listened to rock and roll, so I had to discover all that on my own as I got older, So, gosh, when I hit a certain age, I don't know, 13, 14, started hanging out with Owen, because we were best friends. And like, that's when like we just started listening to everything. It was like stuff that was on top 40 and, whether it was Chili Peppers or, things like that. And I got really into the Britpop stuff and, Coldplay and Keane and all that. And hey, buddy. It was like just a huge mix of influences for me. But the whole, I guess one of the big things that changed the game for me is like as a keys player would be Ben Folds, just like discovering him for the first time. And that was a game changer for me because I had been taking piano lessons for quite a few years, but I hated it. So I was like super ADD as a kid, and I just wanted to play drums. I didn't want to take piano lessons, but I listened to him and I'm like, ooh, I like what he's doing. So that really turned me on to, I really wanted to learn how to play. And at that age, I was about 14, I learned that I had a pretty strong ear. And so I learned a lot from Ben Folds, just like learning his stuff by ear. And that it kind of shaped my style, the way I voice chords and everything. And so that was a big influence. And then apart from that, getting into bands like U2 and seeing, and not just records, like I got into them by watching their like live concert films and seeing that. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. I just want to be in a cool live band,
Tomorrow you get to see that live.
And speaking of that, yes,
that's awesome.
I get to go to the Sphere tomorrow.
Are you going?
In Vegas.
So for you too? Have they been there for the last like 2 weeks then, or a week?
They're
doing,
full,
they're
like,
doing
residency.
their residency there.
It's a residency. They're the first
I am
band to ever do
so
it.
jealous.
Yeah.
Finessed our way into our phones and finessed our way into the residency at the Sphere.
Exactly.
And I'm fine with it because I'm already a fan, so they can
Yeah.
sneak albums into my phone whenever they want. And
That really is though like a game. I mean, just the whole experience in general for music is a game. That's an official level up.
Absolutely.
In what it is to produce an actual show.
Yeah.
And I think that'll have a big influence on future venues in general.
Absolutely. Well, you think of like
Absolutely.
the shows you go to now, they have, sometimes they have an LED wall on the back.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah,
and
just
then,
the lighting techs alone have to be crazy in that place.
oh, it's unbelievable because
Yeah.
it goes
literally
above your head.
All the way
180
around.
Yeah.
all the way
the whole
around. Yeah.
thing.
It's incredible. I don't want to, I've watched so many of the videos
Really?
from
Yeah, I know.
YouTube.
So have I.
He hasn't. I don't want to
Oh,
spoil
you're
it.
on purposefully
Yeah.
not doing it.
Oh, okay, smart.
But I
Smart.
follow. I mean, I follow you on Instagram, so I can't help it sometimes. And
Yeah.
I'll see some old clip. I'm like, I gotta see this.
Yeah, it
And
looks insane.
so I've seen very little, but I can't imagine like what it's going to be like to actually be there. Not just the visuals, but the sound,
Yeah.
because you're surrounded by
Yeah.
the system.
That's what I'm curious what the sound
Like there aren't
too. Yeah.
speaker stacks in the front.
I heard it was
It's-
every seat. I heard that almost
Yeah.
every seat.
I
had,
didn't
like,
know
things
that.
and stuff.
Oh,
It's like a
wow.
multi-sensory experience.
It is.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Wow, it's like stars on the ceiling.
And it's
It's the-
built. It's built up super high. Like so,
Yes.
the sound travels. I think
Yeah.
much better in general.
yeah, what's
too.
the fire code like there? I was thinking that when I was watching
Dude, I heard
videos.
it's like super easy to get in and out of too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's cool.
I heard when you're walking in, I told you this already, so I'm not spoiling it. But when you're walking in, there's like actual like robots in like the
Oh, I haven't
like
seen
outside,
this.
like when you're in the the foyer. There's
Yeah.
like robots you can like interact with.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's sick.
That's like the next thing for everything. Dana White's been talking about how he's gonna have the greatest combat event ever and it's going to be hosted
Oh
there.
yeah, I think I saw.
And
They
that.
can do it there.
That's what he's saying. Yeah,
I'm
next
sure.
next year he's
Oh,
going to
I guess they just put it right in. So then
Yeah.
it's not like the normal.
No, I don't think so. But he
Stadium
said
feel,
that
but-
even for sports and stuff, that venue is going to be a game changer.
Oh, I
He's
can't
gonna do
imagine
something crazy.
all the things they're gonna do with that place
Yeah.
from now on.
Right,
It's unbelievable.
Any kind of event.
dude. I saw the day ad for the outside of it's 400 grand.
What?
To run an
Yeah,
ad on it.
I did see
for
that.
a full
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
not terrible.
But I think if you do like a week, then it breaks down to like $250K a day.
Nice,
So you get a good package deal.
Yeah.
bro. I mean,
We'll run some lobster and beer ads.
that
there.
would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
Hey
cool.
why
Mark,
not?
here's
Hey
some.
Mac,
Yeah.
Mac, we have the Kipp episode coming out. We need some ads on the Sphere. That's gonna be amazing,
Gosh.
man.
Yeah,
you must be
they've-
pumped for that.
U2's always been at the top of the game for live performance.
Yeah.
Like they're probably the only band or one of the very few bands that go up against like the biggest like pop productions. of,
Yeah.
like
Right.
pop artists. They're always
Yeah.
always
Have you
next
seen
level.
them before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen them 2 times. So I saw them on their massive 360 tour when it was
Oh,
all
yeah.
outdoor stadiums, and they're in the middle, as they called it, the claw, because the whole lighting rig was, I can't even explain it. At the time, that tour started in like 2009, and I think they took a break, but then they came back in 2011 and finished it, and that's when I went. I saw them in Minneapolis, and but yeah, at that time, that was the highest grossing tour of all time.
Wow.
And I wish I had the stats on me of like how much like everything was, and
Yeah.
not just the cost, but how many things that they used, whether it was like the gear, guitars, the lighting system, all of that stuff. It's
That's crazy.
nuts. And they had this whole, the LED screen was above them, just like going around, and then during the set, like later on the set, it would drop down and it would expand like a
Nice.
slinky
Yeah.
type
That's
thing.
unbelievable. Yeah.
And so it would come down way like right above their heads, and then you'd have, and it would project them and all these other images, and it was just nuts.
Yeah, they're
And
way
there's-
way ahead of their time.
They really are.
with
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah. You know what's funny now? I was just thinking of it. Like if you ask like a 18-year-old kid though, like U2, they'd probably have no
Oh yeah, no way.
idea.
No idea, unless they
Yeah.
have really cool
parents
Yeah.
or older siblings or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I saw them in Boston with JT like I want to say like 5 years ago.
Oh,
And it was
nice.
especially Boston too. It's one of their
Oh,
main
yeah.
hubs.
Oh yeah.
It was the one where he had the catwalk that like was above the whole crowd.
You went to that too?
Yeah.
That's the other one I was gonna
Really?
bring
Yeah.
up.
And it had the lights on the It
Yes.
was incredible. Yeah.
The other like best show I've ever been to, because it's like, again, who's done that? Who
No.
puts the LED screen through the crowd?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So it's,
Yeah.
it's the catwalk, and then like that draped down from the catwalk was an LED screen.
Yeah.
So as he's
damn.
walking along,
Yeah,
there's like
so he's-
visuals
yeah.
trailing him
Yeah.
and
But
stuff.
again, visually, they've been able to connect music and visuals better than anybody. And this is going. I'm sure it's nice that you've seen 2 iterations already,
Yeah.
and you're gonna see the 3rd iteration. So you're gonna be a good judge of how it is and how they use it and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But this is only, I think, gonna be 10 times all that technology wise.
Oh yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
sure
Oh,
that's
for
why they were like, we have to be the first ones to do this.
Agreed.
'cause
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
just what they do. But yeah, I saw that show
You did, yeah.
in
Where?
Chicago, United
Oh
Center.
wow,
So,
yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
So cool.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
dude,
big influence.
one fun thing that kind of connects you to the podcast already is we did the Stars on the Ceiling beer experience, and
Heck yeah.
that all started in 2018 when we were touring in LA, and we stopped by Schmarks and Savvy's studio. I think it was the 2nd or 3rd night we were there. You came in with this idea on keys, which was the beginning of Stars on the Ceiling, and then we recorded that song and we sat on it like just the day of demo for 3 years,
Yeah.
and then we had met Scott Avett at Kaboo Dallas.
Yeah.
He always tells the story much better than me, but we snuck into their like meet and greet backstage. And
I remember that.
yeah, and then we became homies. And then I
Yeah.
hit him up, and Kipp was gracious enough to allow Scott to sing that part.
Yeah,
and
it was
that,
super
that
cool.
You originally sang incredibly too.
Thanks, man.
And then we turned that song into a beer, dude. It was such a cool experience, and
That's
it all
so
started
awesome.
with you, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how that all came together. Because again, yeah, it was something cool that we did, but I never knew anything was, gonna happen with it.
Yeah.
Because it was like sort of unfinished. I mean, we finished it, and I think it's a killer tune, but yeah, I had no idea. I thought it would just be sitting in the mix with other songs.
And we played it live a few times. Remember the first time we played it? We played that December show in it was like Virginia or Philadelphia. It was a sick show. It was a college show.
Yep.
And it was like sold out, packed, and we played it, and people were digging it, and it was like, man, this is.
I actually
special.
didn't even know you guys ever played it live.
Yeah,
I do. I didn't remember that until he said it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and I remember I think we threw it in during sound check. We were like, let's throw this in tonight, because I think they expected a longer set than we went in planning for, and so we threw it in, and dude, it was so cool because that just it just has that dun dun, similar to like Benny and the Jets style.
Yeah,
and it was so dope. The crowd was just like all of a sudden bumping. It was like, all right, we got something special here, and then we kept sitting on it.
That was fun. I think that's actually what I was thinking when I came up with that. The original intro piano part was just that Benny and the Jets kind of groove.
Yeah.
And I remember Schmarks had like this drum pads out, and he was just messing around.
Yeah.
So he just starts like laying down this groove, and it just started from there. That was so much fun doing that song, especially later on in the night when we were like working on it and coming up with because I rarely ever write like that, and everybody's just kind of chilling out in the living room, and I'm trying to figure out a chorus lyric. And I remember Savvy had the idea of like doing like a double time rhythm to like the halftime beat.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that would be super cool. So then trying to develop the lyric over that, and it came out pretty quickly. So I was happy with that because it takes me forever to write lyrics. So
and we kept like cool. a lot of the original stuff from that night, even the intro where it's kind of like scattered, everyone just kind of getting their chops in. And we just kept that. Cool. It was kind of cool. It was just like a natural feeling that we're like, why would we take this out? It really kind of brought over the essence of like what was created that night, because it was special. Everyone was kind of, the whole band was there. There was like, with Schmarks and Savvy, there was 8 of us there in the room.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like, Sam jumped in on guitar. I think David was playing the drum pads, and then
Dave jumped in,
yeah, and then Pat laid down that dope bass line, and obviously Ryan with the so good, man. Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, I miss that, man. Miss playing with those guys.
Yeah,
so much fun.
We had so much fun, man. I mean, it was like it was crazy. We were saying the other day, because you've been here now for what, 3 days. Yeah, it's been awesome, dude. You being in the studio, we got to.
This place is awesome.
Jump into Brian's toys in here, man. You're the first person besides Brian that's played these.
Yeah, I'm spoiled for sure. Yeah, when you told me that you're gonna have access to all this, I was super pumped because this is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a playground for you.
You don't get to see these types of boards in your everyday guitar
that's
center.
only like half of them.
Yeah, I know. I know. I showed Brian sent a video of just a bunch of other boards and stuff he has at his house. It's just it's a whole
amount of equipment he has.
He's got a sick addiction. I mean, it is.
I love it. Yeah. Let's keep feeding that addiction.
Absolutely.
I love it too.
Yeah. We're all excited about
I'm not saying it's bad.
So
But
cool.
he does have a real thing for these.
Seriously. Yeah, man.
That's super cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so you've been here for a few days making some tunes, which has been awesome. We got you to jump on a couple of our songs that we've been making.
That was a blast.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome, man. So much fun. That's like that's kind of the point of this place, right? Like creative collaboration with this dude right here. Really,
he's trying to steal the show.
First part of the minute, just like he's never like
giving you that side eye too.
I know, dude. He's never like this talkative too.
He's on one.
He knows the cameras are rolling.
He loves the camera.
Yeah, and he smelled that lobster is just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like whatever they call it, kitty. It's the crack stuff for kitties.
Oh yeah.
Oh, catnip.
Yeah, catnip. Yep. He goes with lobster nip.
Yeah. Well, he's Brady. It's his roots.
He's a classy dog.
This place is awesome though. I love it.
Yeah.
And just Scottsdale, I've been through here, but it's been several years. But this is my first time actually hanging out.
Yeah.
It's cool, like how close everything is.
Yeah.
That you would need to get to, like.
Yeah.
Just in the past few days, everywhere we've gone is within like 4 or 5 minutes. You know.
And then like Phoenix in general is just super spread out too. So it's nice. You can just like kind of hone down here and not have to move
Yeah,
very far to get wherever you need to go.
for sure.
Yeah, it's super nice for that. Dude, you were playing me some of your new tunes. I'm hyped on them.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So what's the plan? Because I've been waiting for some more Kipp Wilde music for a minute.
Yeah, I have too. It's been it's been such a slow process, but I'm always writing, and I'm just trying to just find that balance between playing live and obviously touring like with May, and it'll be nice now that I have a break to really get in and finish the stuff, like some of the stuff I was showing you, like the Christmas stuff that's like
the Christmas stuff is
so you have
dude.
special Christmas stuff?
I have like I don't know what I was thinking, but a couple of years ago I had the pretty ambitious idea, crazy idea to write a full album of all Christmas originals.
I love Christmas.
That's so cool.
'Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I love Christmas, and Christmas covers are cool and all, but like I feel like that's been done to death. And still, I still love a good Christmas cover. But I'm like,
We did one
that's right.
back in.
Oh, that's right. That was a blast, and that happens to be my favorite. Probably my favorite.
Well, I've never
Christmas
seen
song.
that music video for that.
The green screen.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
We had so much fun.
But
with
yeah,
that,
I just I figured why not try to challenge myself and just do an original album. So
it's
I've been
so good.
That's epic.
thanks, man.
Christmas in the Midwest, was that track 2?
Yes,
That song's
possibly
yeah.
track 3.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Or
that
it was the
one's
second one you
done.
played me yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's actually fully done. I just need to get it in the mix phase, and then just tweak some things here and there and get the string arrangements on it. So I don't know, especially now. It's like we're getting pretty close to the holiday season.
That's what I was
And
gonna say.
like,
So are we gonna have to wait one more year?
I know.
No, we're pushing it. We're pushing
Trust
it.
me,
We
if
should
I-
that should be the first Demon Records release, a Christmas album,
gosh.
Kipp Wilde.
I need all the help I can get because I've been like writing.
It's so good.
Thanks, man. I've been writing so much on my own, and then there's a friend of mine, my friend Jonathan, back in Nashville, and he's just awesome. And he has me come over and like lay down my ideas because I do a lot on my own, just like building tracks. But I never I don't do all the super, I don't know. I never really got into recording vocals and guitars. I never invested in all the hardware. I'm just like a synth guy and, MIDI programming, stuff like that. So when it gets past that, I have to put it in the hands of somebody else. And so obviously being in Nashville, I'm lucky to be surrounded with, by
That's for sure.
so many talented engineers. So they help me out and get things sounding really cool. So I'm kind of in that process right now. But if I don't get the whole thing out, which is pretty ambitious, I at least want to get, a couple singles out for the Christmas thing this year. So
Please.
something.
When you
nice.
do sit down to create an idea and stuff, and I know you said you sometimes take a little while to do it. It's not usually a one night thing.
Right.
What do you do? Are there certain, do you like incense? Do you sit in a certain place? Do you have a recipe kind of, or is it all over the place?
No, it's all over the place. It honestly, inspiration kind of strikes out of nowhere. And I know everybody knows that. I honestly need to get better at just showing up and doing, and the exercise of just writing and get over perfectionism, which leads to procrastination, but I do feel like I've been a lot better at just creating a lot more often. So, but yeah, honestly, if I'm just in a place where I can clear my head, that's usually when ideas start flowing. So it can be as simple as just going for a long drive or a walk, and stuff just happens out of nowhere, or, it's weird. Creative process is weird. I feel like you can't really take credit for anything. Like when something just comes to you, it's really bizarre.
Yeah, I think it's already there, and
Yeah.
we're just kind of the vehicle that pushes that out. That's what I've come to understand. That's at least for me is when the best stuff comes out, when I'm not trying to force something. That's what
Exactly.
you were saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird. You have to kind of trust the timing. And it's frustrating, especially when it's like, you're like, oh, I'm a songwriter. So I'm like, I have to do this every day. And it's like a lot of days I'm just like, I don't want to do it, which sounds weird. Like I I'm still not like in love with the process, you know?
Yeah.
And I know there are plenty other artists who would agree with me, but like, I wish I could be always in that kind of flow state.
Which I think though is
just...
that is impossible. And again, it wouldn't be as creative as it is. Because I always found with him, actually, again, the more time he took off from a specific song or writing and stuff, when he came back, it was always better than he had ever been before. Because it builds on itself, and then he has all this time for his mind just to clear and get imaginative, and then everything builds on itself. So every single time he's come back, it's come back stronger and stronger every single time.
So cool.
I think that's part of the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of forcing it, you know, because it's like especially in Nashville, you know, when I was there and when we were working too, and we were on Starstruck, you know, it was a lot of pressure to put music out and continue to produce all this stuff. And so you have all these co-writes, and it's like you're scheduled 10 to 4 p.m. with one producer, and then 6 to 10 p.m. with another producer. And you're just expected to like click into creative mode. But I think, you know, you and I are similar in the sense where it's such a natural thing that has just been a part of us since we were younger, that to force it really kind of kills the true creativity and expression of ourselves. But allowing it to just those moments when you do have it, and I'm sure you're the same, like 2 a.m. I might be laying in bed, have an idea, and I have to get up and like get that all out.
Yeah.
Because like you're never going to be in that place in your brain again.
Right.
And so
you have to catch it. It's literally what it is. It's the thing. You can't plan it. You can't be like, you're not going to sit down and be like, I will write this brilliant melody or whatever. It's like, you don't, you just, it comes to you and it's like, oh, and that's with me. Yeah. It's like, I'll be out like, I don't know, at the grocery store or something, and something will pop up. And that's what's great about your cell phones and having the little voice memos. And it's like, just get it out there. Or even a line, like a lyric idea, even if it means nothing, if there's something, well, you know, a spark of something there, it's like, that's an interesting line. It's like, just write it down. You don't know.
You never know when you're going to come back to it.
Yeah. Because that's my thing.
You're randomly going to see it and be like, oh, wait. Well, now I can build on this. You know, things like that. You do that a lot.
That's been my experience too. Like, man, I can sit on something like an idea, whether it's a couple lyric ideas with a melody or like a chord progression, and I could have that for months, sometimes years, because I'll just put it to the side because I'm like, this feels so good. And I'm like, where is this going? Because it's like this repetitive motif, but like I get stuck on it and I can't even get out of my head to be like, this needs to jump to something else. And I have a couple songs like that where it's just like, all right, I'm done. And then out of nowhere, someday I'll just be sitting and playing and I'll think of some new idea and I'll be like, oh, that'll be great with this. This thing that's been sitting on the shelf forever, you know? So it's weird how that works. But then I'll have songs that I'll start fresh and just, it'll come out within 20 or 30 minutes, like almost a full song. And I'm like, awesome.
Both processes though are necessary.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
So
for sure.
you get different outcomes with different processes.
It's nice sometimes too to have that initial spurt of creativity on a song and then throw it on the shelf for like, whether it's a week or a month or a year. And then when you come back to it, you almost forget what it even sounds like.
Yeah.
But that allows you to come up with new parts, new melodies, you know, new lyric adventures on it, whatever it is. But having that time away from it kind of really re-inspires you to come at it from a different angle, and it helps build on it as well.
Yeah.
Which I think is so important. I've come to find out that my process like needs that, because in Nashville is very much like you want to finish the song in the 5-hour session a lot of the time, and it just the pressure of that, and then you're forcing it, and it doesn't really sometimes like there are those songs that they just fly out 20 minutes, which is so cool. We did that with one of the first songs we ever wrote together, "See the Light." You came over.
That was pretty quick.
You came over and it was like, I think it was like a 30-40 minute thing, and we had the whole thing. It was like, let's bring this to the band. Yeah, it was awesome. It was one of the, I think it might have been the first song we ever wrote together.
It probably was.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, those moments are so magical, and that's when you remind yourself like, man, I am obsessed with this. But then there's those moments where you can't, like you were saying, you can't find the creativity, and it's like a love-hate relationship with songwriting.
But that's what's nice about collaborating, and that's something I tell myself I need to do more of that, because I've just always been, and I've had plenty of co-writes. I'm not like against it, but I just like to do everything myself. It's just I love creating like the arrangements, writing all the parts. Lyrics to me are super personal, so I'm always kind of, I feel weird when like another person's writing lyrics with me, because I'm like, this is like a different world for me, you know? And I'm like, lyrics are personal, but I mean, I've done it a little bit, but yeah, the whole process though, it can be helpful, especially when, like I was saying before, you have this one chunk that you feel really good about, and it's like, when you don't know what else to do with it, it is nice to maybe have somebody next to you that's like, let's try this.
Yeah.
And then it forces you to like, okay, I'm out of my head now. Let's try your thing. And also, of course, you can execute much faster that way.
And again, I agree with you. Like I said, doing it yourself, and that's 100% important sometimes. But then, like you said, it depending on the person that you're collaborating with too.
Yeah.
There's certain energies that are in the air then, and the connection between the two and the energies between the two people that do sometimes elevate things and make things happen in a different way than normal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I like
So
the
true.
collaboration for the initial creation of the idea and the song, but then I like to go on my own and write my lyrics.
Yeah.
Which I think you're saying as
Oh, yeah,
well.
for sure. Agreed.
I don't like those sessions when like you're really sitting there trying to find the lyrics and everyone's like in the circle, like going around. It's like, what about this? And then that all of a sudden to me feels like that very much like strategic business side of creating a song, which is
That's just yucky.
total opposite of how we grew up, why we
Right.
started doing this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had one co-write, and it was just one that was actually it just was not enjoyable. Like, for the most part, they've been great. Some better than others, but I remember this one, and it was in Nashville before I moved to Nashville. Because I was, for a while, the Windsor guys would like have me go and like co-write with some people, which only happened a few times. But they sent me to Nashville to work with this one person, and yeah, it was super cool guy, and we really hit it off. But we just like started getting into it, and he just kind of just took over and started doing everything, and I was just standing there. I'm like, what's going on? We were hitting it off over like our musical tastes and like bands and everything, and like all right, let's get into it. And he just starts like building these tracks and blah 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 blah. And I was telling him about like my process with writing lyrics, or my style, I guess, and he was just not vibing with it. So he just starts like writing all the words, things I would never say, you know, as if it's like, we got to crank out a hit.
That's the worst. Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, this is feeling icky.
Yep.
And I knew I was there the whole rest of the day with him. So I'm like, how do I make this better?
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
Because I was telling him like, I don't know. I feel like my lyric style, I feel like it varies because it's fairly simple, but I also love the use of metaphor and everything. And I was telling him that that's kind of how I write, kind of paint a picture and things like that. He's like, yeah, well, most people don't really get that. So, and then he just like starts like writing his own thing. I'm like, all right, just.
Yeah, he took it as a business, not as a creative, as a creative session.
Yeah.
It was,
and it's such a sensitive space too.
It really
being
is, yeah.
being in the studio with someone creating, you're being very vulnerable, and to have someone who's very like dominant in the session, it does kill the creative flow.
Yeah,
and it's not great. Speaking of creating and writing, you are going to be making a new album with May.
Yes.
That's exciting, man.
Very exciting.
Have you written with May before in that world? No.
I haven't. Dave has been talking to me on and off about it, how he wants me to be a lot more instrumental, like in the record, and not just playing, but also doing some writing and everything. So I'm super excited for that.
When do you guys start that?
Well, he and Zach, are the main songwriters, like the two original guys left. So they're doing the majority of everything, and I think the rest of us are just gonna come in when we're needed, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Dave wants us to be a really collaborative thing, and not just for us in the band, but he wants to have his other friends, songwriting friends, to be a part of it. So it could be a super cool thing. I don't want to say any names because I don't know if anything's really like.
You told
for
me a
sure
couple,
not,
and
yeah,
it's some big names. You guys would know them. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's
but
pretty
it could.
badass.
I'm excited. I hope it works out, and we're actually planning on doing a lot of that during this break.
Oh,
over the
nice.
next few weeks, at least get a lot of it knocked out. So
Awesome.
yeah, we'll see.
It's exciting, man. Well, dude, I know you got to get running because you're going to a show tonight. Your friends singing with Need to Breathe?
Yeah, my good friend Serena Joy, one of the greatest singers in the world. She's a artist that I play with in Nashville like regularly, and she's incredible. Yeah, she just got picked up by Need to Breathe, so she's touring with them, like singing the BGVs and just killing it.
That's awesome. They're at Arizona Financial Theater. Is that what it is?
That's it. Yeah.
It's a killer spot.
So yeah, I haven't been there, but I hear it's cool.
We just had Darius on the pod, and that's where he was playing. That's awesome, man. Well,
so I'm gonna go, see her tonight and get to hang out. So that'll be a blast.
You got back-to-back shows.
Yeah, and then drive and then go to Vegas tomorrow.
I know.
And hit it there.
Wow.
It's gonna be fun. I'm super pumped, and I'm pumped to eat this right here.
Yeah, I know.
You were the only one that was respectful, and I mean,
we had him talking the whole time.
I couldn't do it though because it would destroy my beard.
We've had situations, especially when there's hot butter on rolls, that it leaves a nice mark on everyone's face.
Yeah, it's part of the lobster and
that's
beer
exactly
experience.
what it's made for. I'm all for it. I would be all for it. I'm not against it.
Absolutely. Well, Kipp, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you
Ladies
so
and gentlemen,
much.
Kipp Wilde.
Finally.
Our second guest on the show today was Brady. He's probably going to get his own episode because he's definitely needing that attention. We love you guys. Till next time. Peace.
Later.